Good afternoon, Feruma. Thank you for joining us. Um, yeah, thank you for joining this session. Welcome. Okay. Good afternoon. Yeah, so people are joining in. So Chinedu, I think just out of respect for everyone who came here on time, we can just get started. Um, Good afternoon, everyone. So yeah, I've just started recording this session. Um, Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's session. Uh, Today we're going to be having a good conversation, a great conversation, insightful conversation around cryptocurrencies. My name is Chukwubikem Oguzie. I work on content at Aangoo. I'm going to be moderating today's session. I'm joined here with our guest Chinedu. Chinedu works at Luno, and he's going to be the knowledgeable person here, the person who's sharing the insights around today's topic. Um, so today we're going to be talking about cryptocurrencies. One of the things that um, Aangoo and Luno share similarities on is uh, our drive to really just one, first of all, like spread financial literacy. This time specifically around a certain asset class called cryptocurrencies, but then also to spur action, right? And the goal of all of this really for your end as the audience, as consumers, is to be able to get value off of this, right? So cryptocurrencies are one of the latest asset classes to come around, right? It's been a creation um, out of the blockchain technology, and it's something that has come up in recent times, and um, it's taken a bit of time for the general audience to understand its value proposition, to understand how it can fit into people's personal finances. Um, but we know there's a lot of curiosity around it. It's still pretty new, compared to the traditional markets. So there's still a lot of questions. There's still a lot of people who don't understand what these things really are. And that's really the purpose of today's session, right? Today's session is called Crypto 101, and we're going to be taking a beginner friendly insight into cryptocurrencies. Like I said, I'm joined here by Chinedu from Luno. Chinedu, please do a quick introduction to the audience, and then we'll kick off.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Chinedu. I work with Luno, and essentially, like Chukubika said, we're going to be talking about crypto, going back in time, money, and all of that. Just keeping it as simple as possible, and then talking about cryptocurrency or digital assets, digital currencies, depending on what nomenclature you prefer. Yeah, and I'm hoping that we'll have a video session. Also looking to have questions from everyone who's joining, and then we'll be able to learn, educate ourselves. And like he said, we're doing this in partnership with Aangoo, and our joint, I think, where our visions really align is in educating people about their finances and helping them to basically do better, right? And then, of course, Luno is a platform that enables you to interact with crypto in a way that is safe, secure, and then you also get to learn, about crypto while you're getting to interact with crypto. So that's what we're going to be doing in a nutshell.
Thank you so much for that, Chinedu. Okay, guys. So if you're on this call, I'm going to briefly explain the structure of this conversation, and then we'll move it over to like Chinedu, who's gonna handle the bulk of the conversation. So it's this session is an hour long. Chinedu is going to take about 35 to 40 minutes to deliver some content to us, right? And the goal of all of this is that at the end of this call, we should have a solid foundational understanding of cryptocurrencies and digital assets. Like Chinedu said, depending on whatever you want to call them. So after around 40 minutes of him delivering his content, it will be open to questions. So any questions that you may have, you can unmute your mic and then ask these questions. Please make sure when you're asking these questions, you are in an audible and serene environment, right? Chinedu, over to you, please. Let's hear from you. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Chukwuike. So I was just going to share slides and kick off from there, but there's also the message bit where you can send in questions if you're not able to say wait to the end, or if you're going to, or if you want, say maybe Chibuike to ask a question on your behalf. Yeah, so I'll kick off. So this is what we're going to be doing today. Just a quick run through what is money, what is cryptocurrency, and of course, blockchain, which is the technology behind it, how it all works, hopefully touch on some trading strategies, and then how Luno basically helps you take advantage of all of this. All right, so just a quick run through this slide, and I like how this is incremental. Money is basically a unit of exchange, and it's taken many forms through history, from barter. Again, depends on who you read and who you believe, for what's happened in the past, but it's gone from barter, people exchanging actual items with each other, and overcoming the issues. In order to overcome the issues that came with that, say I have a cow and I want a shirt, do I cut off a leg to match the shirt and all of that? Then the switch to gold, the gold standard, that became heavy. Okay. Can anyone see the shared screen?
I can see it. It's on a slide called "What is Money? A Historical Look."
Exactly. Okay.
Okay. Can you just move the slide, back and forth, so we'll see if it's.
Yeah. Okay, let me do that.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It did move. It did move.
Okay. Okay, great. So, well, I mean, the slide is just a guide really for the conversation, but I'm going to be talking through most of what it is. So, of course, we move from gold to coins just to make it easier, and then switch to there's a lot of background stories and interesting read as to how all of this has happened. Banks then got formed, or central authorities, central banks, and then switch to paper money, which is basically a form of IOU to say, okay, we have this much gold, in our possession, and then you can use this note, just like a promissory note to have that. And then of course, notes became more established because, hey, easier to print, easier to generate, a lot more easier to carry around and manage compared to gold, metal coins, and the rest. And of course, as technology evolved, the internet came through, online payments and the likes, plastic cards came on board, electronic transfers, what we have with the banks today. And then came the almighty cryptocurrency, 2019, I believe. 2009 rather, 2009. So I'm just going to go straight into it. So what is cryptocurrency? The reason why I started with just describing what money is just to get to what cryptocurrency, or what the idea was, at the start. It's basically a form of digital currency that is not dependent on any central authority, central bank, any central authority for its issuance. It is digital currency that runs on a technology called the blockchain technology, which we'll talk about very briefly also. And it basically uses cryptography, which is just a form of security um, to essentially secure that transaction. Now, the reason why all of this happened is because there's the issue with banks where you can have what is called a double spend, right? You have funds in your account written in a ledger or a database, essentially, which is what happens with all our funds, the fiat funds everywhere. And you can spend that amount and a glitch can, basically you can have a glitch in the record and you still have that amount in the bank. Some of the things that's happened even in the industry recently where maybe people have access to take more than they have in their account, and all of that, and then the banks have to go on a run. So this is designed to ensure that that doesn't happen. You have access to what you own and you're only able to spend that. And so that is the essence of cryptocurrency, created by Satoshi Nakamoto, which is a pseudonym. Nobody's sure who that is, whether it's a person, a group of people, doesn't matter. What matters is that they created something that is amazing, that solves for internet money in a nutshell, and gives better decentralization, better autonomy for people accessing their funds or their assets, right? And then the technology that it runs on, the blockchain technology, is essentially a ledger, a database, right, that works by linking blocks together. It's a distributed ledger, so it's not sitting in one place. It's basically hosted in hundreds of thousands of millions of locations, and through complex process called mining, solving difficult math equations, a number of miners nodes did agree that a transaction has happened, and that record goes into the block, which then goes into a chain. And the beauty of the blockchain technology is that once a transaction is recorded, it is immutable. There's no going back to change it. For you to change a transaction on the blockchain, you're basically going to affect every other transaction that's ever happened. And so that is what Satoshi built, and what gives cryptocurrency its value, and makes it something that is worth having, right? So I'll just quickly delve into characteristics of Bitcoin, which is the first cryptocurrency that was made and largely considered as the mother coin, right? And these characteristics are the same characteristics that you will find with a number of things: money, other, say, assets, stock, securities, and the likes, which is one of the beauties and conundrums that you have with, say, Bitcoin, and it's been a long conversation from 2009 when it got created till now as to its classification, whether it is a currency, is it a security, that different lawsuits, holding for different cryptocurrencies around this, right? So first things first, it is divisible, right? One Bitcoin, can be divided into 100 million places, or sats, as we call it. So one sat is like 100 of a million of a Bitcoin, right? So it's divisible, and while it's divisible, it is also fungible, which means that 0.0001 BTC has the same value, in wherever it is, has the same value, however you shake it, wherever you use it to transact, wherever you hold it, whether you're in South Africa, Nigeria, you're in the States, Europe, the moon, wherever, right? And then for Bitcoin specifically, scarcity was built into it. So now this is all programmed in, right? It's digital, electronic, and it was programmed in to have a maximum of 21 million Bitcoin ever, right? And so it's for people with a bit of an economic background or understand inflation, deflation. It becomes it's basically a deflationary tool, which means that it will keep gaining in value, and you cannot go and print more of it, out of the blues. There's a process, the mining process, which is how it's done, and it's fixed. 21 million that will ever be mined. And then, fun fact, the last Bitcoin is going to be mined somewhere around 2140, which means that, we'll probably never see, or those of us here at least, will probably never see that happen. So the mining is going to keep happening. You have miners, and of course, mining refers to the process of obtaining the Bitcoin that's already been created. Now, it's durable. So this one, and I think for those in Nigeria who, and for anybody with any kind of, say, banking means experience, who understand what happens with physical cash, with Naira or anything, it gets dirty, it gets worn, it gets sent in, destroyed, and fresh versions have to be printed. With Bitcoin, that never has to happen because one, it's not even, doesn't even exist in a physical form. So you have it in your wallet, it's safe. You have it on Luno, it's safe. It's going to be there forever and won't basically wear out. Then it's transferable, which is great and very easy to do that. And we're going to basically see how that's possible, which means I can transfer to BKM or to Leah, or to Chinelo or anybody. Essentially, if I wanted to transfer a certain value to you, I can do that via Bitcoin. Now, just threw in this one because there's that whole notion of, Bitcoin is anonymous, and criminal elements, would use it to do illegal transactions. Well, not really. Every Bitcoin transaction from inception till today is public and visible chain, right? And so you can view that transaction, you can trace down to the last bit, right? And you have businesses, the likes of Chainalysis, Elliptical, and many others that enable both individuals, businesses to monitor cryptocurrency transactions, Bitcoin transactions, and you can see it. Of course, there's the anonymity bit is that it's a wallet address and all of that, but there's loads of things happening in the space that is even bringing that is taking off even a lot more of the anonymity from it. So it's transparent, it's clear, and you can trace the transactions as far as you want. So just going to mention a few types of digital assets. There's been a lot of development, since 2009. So the typical coins came up, digital currencies, and it's led to that conversation around, do you call it cryptocurrency, digital assets, digital currencies? Whichever one works for you is fine. For many political reasons, also people prefer different ones. But you have payment coins that essentially enable you to transfer value, as we've discussed. You have Bitcoin, XRP, which is Ripple, Litecoin, and the rest. And then stable coins got created further down the line. And then these ones are coins that are based on basically based on assets, reserve assets. For example, a Tether or a USDC, which is supposed to be 1-to-1 to a dollar, right? So it means that one USDT is supposed to be equal to a dollar. For every USDT that exists, there's a dollar, that's been reserved in one form or the other, which backs that USDT. And that a major breakthrough in the crypto digital asset space, which enabled people to say interact or transact with less volatility, because that's one of the things that happen with Bitcoin. Typically with any new asset, a lot of volatility, prices going up and down. People were concerned about being able to either store or transact in that value in that. I mean, there's people who in the early days of cryptocurrency bought things with maybe 5,000 Bitcoin, maybe bought like pizza with 10,000 Bitcoin, and then when you think about the value of that purchase right now, it's mind-boggling. But stable coins make it such that, one BTC and one USDT is $1, and you're able to transact easier with that. Of course, there's utility coins, that enable you do different things. Say to purchase a ticket, or smart contracts, and many of the different things that's been built on the existing cryptocurrency on the blockchain. You have decentralized or DeFi coins, decentralized finance that essentially are there to enable the services that you typically get from a financial institution, from borrowing to lending, and being able to even generate income to earn and the likes. And then you have, the growingly popular meme coins. These ones are coins that people have just created for whatever reason. I can decide to create a meme coin about myself, and if I'm interesting enough, you have a lot of people who would, take on that coin, and it just starts growing in value that way. I think recently we saw one from the president of the US, just before the elections, that took off in value, and then you've had the older ones, the Doge coin and the likes, which just hold value. And of course, you have the what we call the NFTs, the non-fungible tokens. These ones were basically an attempt to hold things that you typically value in digital form. It could be art, there was a lot of popular ones, collectibles and the likes. So essentially, it is moving a lot of the things that we typically do in the maybe should I say the physical world, the things that you interact with, and taking them digital and having them in that form that you enjoy. And this was for something that crypto enthusiasts basically jumped on. Right. So a couple of the use cases, investment, and then of course I put this first because this is the typical use case that you see from Nigeria, where we're based and where we're speaking. Loads of people are looking to grow value, increase the value of their money, beat inflation and all of that. So that's one typical use case that you have for cryptocurrencies. And then the next is digital payments, enabling quick payments, whether it's moving value, exchanging value between pairs, in a peer-to-peer system, me transferring money to someone else or value to someone else using crypto, or just maybe even making cross-border payments, paying for goods and services and being imported, and all of that. Many people have found that cryptocurrencies are quicker, cheaper, and pretty secure way of doing that compared to the options that existed before. Then one that's very big, and this cuts across Africa, is remittance, right? We have loads of people outside the country either sending it back funds, and all of that to family here, to enable them to either do something, taking care of family that they've left behind in search of greener pasture and the likes. Remittance is one of the highest sources of FX for the country in the last couple of years, and this is speaking for Nigeria, for example, and that cuts across Africa and some other continents, right? And so this using crypto for remittance is also proven to be a lot cheaper, quicker, very trustworthy. And I talked about decentralized finance, of course, and then smart contracts, interesting one. So while it seemed like cryptocurrencies were built all around money, there's cryptocurrencies that were built to be platforms where applications, or called dApps, decentralized applications, they're supposed to be built on. And so you can, if you want to think about this, think about anything that you do today that you use an application can be built on these platforms. Anything that requires, anything that is a form of contract can be built on these applications. Even something as cool as voting, right, can be built on this platform, so that once it happens, remember when I talked about cryptocurrency and the blockchain being immutable, any record that goes in can't be mutilated or can't be altered, right? So using it for like voting, for different kind of records, maybe holding even ID across the nation, is all possible using smart contracts. Right. So for this, I just wanted to tie some parallel, to maybe bring it home a bit for, say, people who are new to crypto. So if you think about your bank accounts, you think about the networks that you use to transfer money. If you're doing foreign transfer with Swift, or doing local transfer within Nigeria, say with your bank, back in the day, I think now less so. You don't even get those options anymore. But back in the day, you could pick whether you wanted to use this RTGS or NIBS option or InterSwitch option and all of that. So your bank account in the crypto space today, on the crypto world, is a wallet address. It's an alphanumeric set of numbers, could be different number of digits depending on the particular cryptocurrency you're dealing with. And then some of them even have what you call tags, maybe a set of 6 digits, 10 digits that go with that address, and that is the equivalent of your bank account. And then you have payment networks, like the Ethereum network, the ARC20, the Binance Smart Chain, BEP20, Solana Base, Lightning Network, and all these ones built to enable you move funds around the same way you move money inter and intra bank, right? Then you have, say, your commercial banks, the other financial institutions, the neobanks, mobile money platforms, and then the trading platforms, the FMDQs, NGX, NASD, and the likes. And the equivalent of that are like the exchanges, custodians, sort like Luno, the trust wallets, for the decentralized finance ones, Ledger for the physical hardware ones where you can store crypto and the likes. So the centralized exchange, Luno, is the equivalent of that in a sense. But of course, with pretty much more function that we typically have, just the combination of the functions that all these institutions perform in one, right? And then you have your audit analysis bodies, that enable investigation. Because of course, there's a lot of once you're able to move value, then it becomes important to be able to have some control, to have like a watchdog and the likes. And so we have the likes of Chainalysis, Elliptic, and many more doing that in the system. And of course, when I describe the process of both getting Bitcoin and confirming transactions on the platform, you have the miners, nodes, all the different parties that are involved in confirming a transaction for it to be recorded on the blockchain. And once that confirmation is done, it's immutable, it can't be changed. You have those systems in there. Great. So I'm just going to delve now to maybe talk about what might be the meat, what people are looking for. Now, just to put out there, we're not financial advisors, so we'll never give financial advice. And DYOR, which is short form for do your own research, is what we'll always advise. And we always say don't invest more than you can afford to lose, because again, cryptocurrencies are still high risk assets, however great that they are. So just talk about a couple of trading strategies that people use and people have adopted with cryptocurrency. The first I'm going to talk about is what we call HODL, which is really someone misspelling holding, right? Probably under a lot of pressure, due to the volatility that was going on with the coins. And of course, also known for hold on for dear life. And this is essentially where you buy a bulk amount. Maybe you feel like you've got the bottom of the market, right? You buy Bitcoin at a great price, and then you hold on for a long time, expecting, pretty decent returns. And this can go on. You can hold for like months, or even, a year or beyond that, right? And of course, this great strategy. I was going to say from the start that whichever strategy you apply, your crypto journey is really dependent on your personality, your trading goals, what you're looking to achieve, where you are financially, and where you want to go. So consider all of that before making any decision as to how you want to interact. And then again, there are loads of people who use a combination of all of them, so there's no one size fits all, right? Then if doing the long hold but buying in bulk is not your cup of tea, or like you're like, hey, I want to say dedicate a certain portion of my income or my earning or fixed amount regularly to diversify my portfolio into crypto. That was what you call the dollar cost averaging. Again, these are strategies that work across assets, right? And they're still applicable for crypto. And this is essentially deciding, okay, I want to buy a certain amount or use a certain percentage of my income to purchase crypto periodically. You can say once a month, on the first of the month, on the last day of the month, regardless of what's happening with price. I'm going to buy 50,000 worth of Bitcoin, and just leave it there. And the beauty of this is you're not committing heavy funds. It's easier to hold for a long time, and you're going to typically catch different price ranges, which typically average out to a positive outcome. Again, a lot of dependencies there. Do your own research and all of that. Then we also have different trading platform strategies. Swing trading. This is essentially for if you want to hold, buy, follow a market trend. This is typically people who are a bit more experienced, with trading, who know how to say read charts, and that's something like a conversation that probably for a more complex situation, right? You're able to read charts, you feel like, okay, there's a trend. There's the typical idea that cryptocurrency moves in a 4-year trend, or within a day, or if it's a ranging market or trading within or that it trades within a certain block, and say, okay, I'm going to catch this and maybe hold for a day or for even longer than that to catch that trend and make a profit. So you're looking to buy low and sell high, which is the typical goal for anyone in crypto. Then that's typically swing trading. It's day trading, which is lower duration, right? You want to buy at this point and believe that in the next few hours, your charts or the fundamental analysis, the news, there's something in the news that makes you feel like this coin is going to say appreciate in a few hours, and then you can do that strategy, and that's typically day trading. Then you also have scalp trading, of course. With all these strategies, the more or the lower the duration you're working with, then it means you're going to have to even commit more time to understanding the chart, looking at the chart, watching your trade and everything. So if you have time, this might work for you. If you someone who doesn't have a lot of time for all of that and to even learn how to do all the things that you require to do this properly, like reading charts and the likes, then you would might not find them the best strategy to deploy. Then you have so scalp trading, you want to go in a manner of minutes or seconds, you go in, take small profits, take small percentages off the top, and you're looking to do multiple of those transactions so that it then combines and then basically compounds and becomes good value for you. Again, can be profitable, requires a lot of time, attention, and know-how. So again, do your own research. Then, of course, you have those who are able to do automatic tradings, use APIs, which Luno provides, or Luno is able to accommodate, and you program a bot to trade periodically within a period. That's also another strategy that people employ. So I'll just wrap up by talking a bit more about Luno. And I talked about Luno at the beginning, but just to talk a bit more about Luno and the things that are available on Luno, and then hopefully we'll be able to get into take questions and all. So Luno is a cryptocurrency platform that enables you to do a lot of things: buy, sell, store, receive, send cryptocurrency, invest that cryptocurrency. Luno's been around since 2013, which means that Luno is essentially almost a teenager right now. And that says a lot for cryptocurrency, which only just became a teenager in itself, which has only been around since 2009. Luno is available across multiple countries and jurisdictions across the world, Africa, Asia, Europe, and the likes. And we've been around in Nigeria since 2015, gone through basically weathered a lot of the scum in the industry, and the core is to provide a reliable platform where people are able to do their crypto transactions without a hassle, and know that they're protected. Now, some of the things that you can do on Luno. So we provide a wallet system, which, as I'd explained earlier, is like an account. So you're able to hold multiple cryptocurrencies. There's over 30 cryptocurrencies currently available on Luno, and you're able to buy instantly. So first, you're able to fund your wallet with fiat, which is Naira, pretty easily from your bank or wherever, even with card. You're able to fund Luno with that amount, with that, through that, any amount that you want to, and then you're able to purchase crypto and hold in that wallet. You can set up repeat buys, right? So I talked about, for example, if you want to do a DCA, right, which is the dollar cost averaging, you can put in an amount and set the amount and set to purchase this amount at this time. You can decide, hey, I want to spread my investment, buy a couple of coins. You can do that through a multi-coin buy, where you get a piece of basically every coin that's available on Luno. You can decide to buy like the top 3 coins, or to even select the ones you want to buy, right? You can do that and hold, and you can also instantly sell your crypto for fiat, Naira, and withdraw to your account instantly. That's one. Then, of course, we have what we call a bundle service or Luno large cap. Now, this is beneficial for people who, you come in, there's 30 coins on Luno, and that is even scratching the surface of what is available globally, with thousands of coins available, and you're not sure which coins you want to buy or how you want to assign your funds to those coins. Now we have this Luno large cap, which is based on an index that Coinbase and Coindex, which is we've partnered with for this, manage. And what it does is it picks, it goes through a pool of over 200 coins, reviews them based on what's happening in the market, picks 5, and assigns a weight, like you'll see the photo there, and can distribute value based on the weight that's been assigned, right? So say you decide to put 100,000 into the coin, and looking at the cap, so 60 something goes to Bitcoin, 20 something will go to Ethereum, Cardano, and the rest. But that's not even all. Now with the bundle, it gets reassessed every quarter, every 3 months. So it means that you don't even need to do anything, right? You assign funds there. You can decide to top up the funds and the bundle, and every 3 months it would reassess the market and rearrange the funds based on what is performing according to the index and the criteria that's set. So basically doing all that thinking for you. You can also set price alerts, right? So you want to buy at a certain price, and you don't have the energy or time to be watching the market at the time. You can set your alerts, say, oh, notify me if Bitcoin gets to this price, for example, both for, and you can use that both for your buy and sell decision. So, oh, I want to sell at this price, notify me when it gets to that price, and then you can go in and do your sell. Or I want to buy at this price. If it comes down to this price, you get notified instantly, and then you go in and do your transaction, right? And then, of course, there's the more complex order book exchange system, which is typically for maybe more savvy traders, where you can go and place an order. Either you want an order that fills instantly, you place that order there, or you place an order to say, look, I don't even want to wait or set a price limit. I have some Bitcoin. I place that order at this price, and whenever it gets to that price, sells off and I'm happy, or I place a buy order with Naira at a certain price, which is basically the green part of the order book on the chart, and you do that. Of course, we also have all the indicators. So if you're experienced with charting, you can put on the indicators there in the chart and see where things are and make your decisions. So basically that all in one suite situation on Luno. Yes, so I talked about being able to basically deposit almost instantly and withdraw to your account. That's available. And then we also have the staking product, which is coming soon for Nigeria. We have that available in some other markets, coming soon to Nigeria, where you'll be able to hold your assets, stake your assets and receive, earn something on those assets, for it being used for different purposes. But that one is coming soon, and we'll probably hear about it across the Aangoo community. Also, we'll be sharing that with them. And thank you very much. I was just going to add, and I saw that Chibuike put that up there. Part of what we're doing with Aangoo, and to make the crypto journey easy, or should I say a bit sweeter, is as a promo code that we've provided for Aangoo, which enables new users, people coming through the Aangoo community to log in and sign up on Luno, and you'll be able to redeem. So you sign up on Luno, use the the reward code or the promo code on Luno, and then you deposit, I think it's 16.3 thereabout, and then you would receive 16.3 also, 16,003 of course, and in Naira also. So that's just something to sweeten the pot and to say welcome if you're coming through the Aangoo community. Thank you so much, and I think happy to have questions.
Thank you so much, Chinedu. Having some feedback. Okay, good. Thank you so much. That was a very insightful presentation. Chinedu touched on a lot of areas around cryptocurrency. Started from the history of its creation to its use cases, and all of that juicy stuff. I really hope this was insightful, and I hope we learned a lot. So at this point, I think I already dropped a comment. Chinedu, I think I'm seeing some good guys. Yeah, keep it going. Please keep sending these reactions. I'm loving them. It lets us know that this has been valuable. Thank you, Babatunde. It lets us know that this has been a valuable piece for you guys, right? So before we get into questions, I quickly want to call on Tito, who's going to speak a bit about Aangoo, and touch a bit on the Aangoo Luno partnership as well. And then after that, it's all questions. So please keep these questions coming in. If you'd like to speak, so like Williams has his hands on, would unmute you and allow you to speak. If you want me to ask the questions on your behalf, you can also drop your questions in the chat box right there, and I'll read these questions out for Chinedu to answer. Tito, quickly, let's hear from you quickly.
Yeah, hi guys. Glad to have you all on this call. My name is Tito. Anyways, you can Tito Biolo as the full name, but Tito. I'm co-founder at Aangoo, and basically, I'm sure like Chibi already said at the beginning of this call, Aangoo is a edu tech platform basically, and what we are out there to do is just to teach people about how to things they need to know about managing their finances better. We are out there. Our goal basically just to ensure that everybody's making the best possible, informed decision about their money at every single point in time. And so if you go on our platform, you see different courses on saving, on investing, on budgeting, on stocks, cryptocurrency and the likes, right? We currently have our MVP out, and we're launching our version 2 or version 1, I might say soon, with with over 20 courses and a number of financial tools like your budget tracker and your expense tracker, basically your budgeting tool, sorry, and your expense tracker, basically. And part of the things we are doing at Aangoo is partnering with organizations like Luno, like basically because our goal is to not just teach but also give the right tools or connect our users to the right financial partners that help them to execute their what they've learned and also execute working towards achieving their financial goals, like you all have tried to do today by joining this call. So what we do basically is connect to the right financial institutions and trusted partners like Luno. And our partnership with Luno basically cuts across, three different phases. One of it is what we're experiencing today, which is, we're having time to time webinars like this. And then about with them educating us about new things and new trends and new stuff that we need to learn about the crypto space and how we can we always make the best and the most informed decision when it comes to our money as it relates to crypto investments. So this is going to be happening a lot more regularly from time to time. I think I'm not sure if you set it for monthly, but I think yeah, but something in that manner, right? And then the other part of it is that they will be engaging with the community or our community also from time to time. So if you are not on our community, you should go on there and go on there to get enjoy all the wonderful insights we drop every other day about various things, savings, budgeting, different trends as it relates to your personal finance. And folks also will be on our community, to answer every of your crypto related questions and advise you as it fits. Also, so that's another part of the partnership, and then the final part of the partnership, which is part of what we've kind of like integrated right with the promo code. Normally on our platform, like you should be able to, or with time, anyways, as we continue to build out our platform, you would be able to go to a marketplace on our platform where you see different financial products that you can have access to. And Luno obviously is part of that, part of the financial companies that you have access to, once you are part of our community. And then we get to switch the port for you, like with the promo codes like Chinedu explained earlier. Yeah, these are basically the ways we are partnering with Luno currently. And then I don't want to say too much again. I just want to tell you that you should look out for our version 1 that's coming out sometimes at the end of next month, with launching a new set of UI, easy to see, easy to use, and easy on the eye and easy to use. A lot more courses than we have currently on our MVP, which is just 5 courses. I think we're launching over 20 courses in the next version. And we're including, like I said, we're including some financial tools, like the budgeting and the expense tracker. So don't let me take much of our time so that folks can ask questions. I can see Ralph, you can't wait already and drop this kind of question. So I'll just drop off now and allow you guys take it away from your Juby. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that, Tito. So guys, what one of the things that we're really pushing for is to take action, right? One of the things that I say around like personal finance and personal finance growth is it's not about what you know, it's about what you're putting into action, right? So if you look at the pinned messages in the chat, there are a couple of actionable steps that we want you guys to take. The first is to make sure you download the Luno app and use the Aangoo referral code there, and you have some benefits to gain from that, right? So you want to get started. All of the information that Chinedu has shared on here, you want to get started, because what happens is as you get started, you learn a whole lot quicker, right? When you start putting things into practice, and then you start figuring out how to use cryptocurrency within your own personal finances, either for investments, as a store of value, or even just for remittance, right? The second actionable step is to join the community. join the Aangoo community. The reason is that there would be consistent engagement around all of this, right? We know that one webinar is not enough to take you through the journey. So you want to join a community where there's also like minds, and you can ask questions, share information, and all of that good stuff. Chinedu, Rafi is asking what's the commencement date for staking on Luno?
Oh, hi. Thanks, Rafi. It's a really good question. Now, what I would say is just you will get notification once that is available. As I mentioned earlier, we have staking available across some other markets, and then we're just finalizing on some of the details. And what we want to do is one is such that when staking is available, it's available across multiple coins, so that you don't have to maybe switch a coin preference for you to be able to take advantage of staking, right? So when we have it across a number of coins, then we most likely have staking available on a coin that you like or you hold, and then you're able to do that easily on Luno. So just stay tuned, and you'll have it pretty soon on Luno NG. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nedu. Rafi, you're not a beginner if you're asking questions around staking. But yeah, yes, definitely download Luno, and definitely join the Aangoo community. You won't miss it, right? When that messaging or when that features or communication will definitely flow through. Um, so let's take questions, guys. So like I said, if you have any questions for Chinedu, give an extensive presentation. If you have any questions, please raise up your hand. I think we had William on here. I can't see his name anymore. Of course, that must have been the network or something. But yes, we're gonna give it a few minutes. If you have any questions, please signify by raising your hand. Drop your question in the chat or just unmute your mic and actually do your question. We'll give it a few minutes to take these, right? So guys, please engage you. Chinedu is here right now. You want to engage? All right, give it a few minutes.
Yeah, no questions. Actually, feels like either I was super clear, right, and you got everything, which it's probably nearly impossible. But then again, I guess while we're waiting for questions, I can also just throw a question out to the attendees. I just like to understand if you've had any experience with crypto. You could even just share what that was, how it's been, and if there's any concerns, or even with Luno or anything in the space. So even if you don't have a question, you can share, what an experience, your experience that you've had, and anything of the sort.
All right. Weluchi, hi. Let's hear from you, please. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Can you guys hear me?
I'm loud and clear, sir.
Okay. Well, my experience with Luna has been excellent, to be quite frank. Because initially I didn't really, after leaving Nigeria, I sort of like forgot about the whole Luno app. But when I got to the UK, when there was a crypto boom, I went back, and it was so easy to access my app that I haven't used for over a year. And it was just straightforward, so easy to even withdraw and get my money at every point in time. There was no hassle. There was no, when it comes to your two-factor authorization, when it comes to customer support, it was seamless. So that experience has been excellent for me. That's my comment. That's what I just wanted to say, that Luna has been exceptional in terms of being able to use the customer service and being able to get your information whenever you want to. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Felici. I mean, that's amazing to hear. And I think you mentioned something that I was going to include in the presentation, talking about security and everything. I said, you know what, this is day one. You know, let's talk about the basics. You know, then we get to talk about security, two-factor authentication. You know, how to protect yourself, your coin. I mean, Luno would do quite a lot in terms of securing your transactions, but there's also the part that is required from you, the user, as with any financial platform. So it's great to hear that you've had a good experience so far. Thank you so much. Oh yes,
You're welcome. Yeah.
yeah. I think while we're waiting about on this, maybe to just bit of blow Aangoo's horn a bit, right? It's not every day that you see platforms that come at this time, especially now that Nigerians need it, you know, and it's basically purpose built to help you make the right decisions with your finances. So people sign on, get onto the Aangoo community. There's great conversations, platform challenges, and everything going on that I've also joined myself, and it's been a good learning process.
Thank you, Chinedu. We have a question from Anita, who's asking. Great question, actually. Anita is asking, is now a good time to go into crypto? And what coin is easiest to manage for a newbie? That's a good question.
All right. So the answer to that question sometimes can fall into financial advice. So I'll just start off with my caveat. We're not financial advisors. We will provide financial advice, but crypto is 16 years old. It's been the fastest growing asset class, you know, most profitable asset class for most of that period, right? And and the projection is that this is still day one, right? So again, depending, when I talked about the various strategies, depending on which one applies to you, whether you're looking to do a long-term hold, right, or not, or whether you're looking to do a short-term hold. For me, it's always a good time to get into crypto, dip your foot in. Remember, don't invest more than you can afford to lose, you know, and as you get more comfortable, you can decide to maybe assign a bigger percentage of your portfolio to crypto. So start small, dip your foot in, get a feel for it, experience the volatility that is still there, still possible. I would say, in terms of which one is easier to manage, the easiest to manage are probably the stable coins, right? But if you're buying something that is one for one with the dollar, then you're not looking to say have long-term to have appreciation in value, right? Because it's supposed to be stable, as the name implies. However, the most popular one, the Bitcoin, is where most people would typically start. And then even when I talked about the bundle is a great place to start for anyone starting off. You know, you have this amount you want to invest, you can just throw it into the Luno large cap bundle, and it will assign weights to it. You know, of course, the bulk based on today's rating and all of that, or weighing, will go to Bitcoin, Ethereum, the more popular ones, you know, and then Ripple and the likes, and that can change every quarter. So that is a good way to get into crypto, I would say.
Sweet. Yeah, thumbs up from Anita. Thanks for that question, Anita. Very good one. Yeah, so guys, we're at 6 p.m. Just gonna give it a few minutes. Again, last chance to really just ask any beginner questions around this session to Chinedu here. Um,
Sorry, Shobi, just wanted to do a quick one. Just as we wait for more questions, I wanted to mention that I just want to say that we should look forward to our next, Luno webinar that will be coming up soon, and we should also look out for webinar on crypto on stocks that's coming also because we put out a poll to the community, recently, and a few people about if they've gotten their dividends and what they're doing with their dividends. I think if a number of persons said that they were looking to get more information to understand how stocks work better. So look out for information about our next webinar on stocks. Basically, we're also going to be doing that in another partnership that we would announce soon with a reputable stockbroking firm. Um yeah, just to that. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Tito. Okay, so guys, if we don't have any more questions, I think we'll close it out here. Um, if you did receive an email invite for this, you would also receive, um, a summary of this uh, via email as well sent to you. I think at this point, I want to say thank you to Chinedu. Put in the work, give us a good presentation. Listen, cryptocurrency it's really like Chinedu said, it's pretty much a newbie. Um, nothing for the boys. But yeah, crypto. I mean, there's John. There's stuff for the boys. I mean, Aangoo is giving you a promo right there. I mean, Luno is giving you a promo right there. Just sign up and use your code and get 16,300 worth of Bitcoin. What else do you want now? Giving you free information, giving you an incentive to take action. John, what else do you want? But yeah, yeah. So like I was saying, crypto is a super new space, new technology, um, and it's if you're comparing it to like other traditional finance tools or traditional finance markets, it's pretty much like a baby, right? So for Chinedu to come on here and just explain these things that I think one thing you give him credit for is a lot of people when they talk to you about crypto, to try to make it sound so complex. And, the goal of all of that is to make them look good. But of course, that's not what we're about here. Chinedu broke these things down in very, very, simple terms. Not too much jargon. If you listen to him carefully, you would understand, have like a good foundational understanding. So Chinedu, thank you so much for that. I want to sign out by saying again, first of all, everyone, make sure you check out Luno. Sign up on Luno. Um, you know, use the Aangoo code right there on the chat. And then really just get started. Use Luno to buy your digital assets, hold your digital assets. It's a great platform, to be honest with you. Talking as a user as well. And then another thing you want to do as well is to sign up on Aangoo, www.aangoo.com. No, you don't get the 16,300 immediately. You want to verify your account, and then you really want to start trading. So, John James, please, so there's a link to join the Angle community right there, right? Just so we don't stretch this call. So please click on that link if you're not already on the community. All of this information, the details about how to retrieve your bonus on Luno, is definitely consistently being shared on there, right? So please join the community so that we don't stretch this call. Chinedu has already been here like for over an hour, right? So yeah, you also want to sign up on Aangoo. Aangoo is all about financial literacy, AI-powered financial literacy, right? So we're utilizing AI to give you, information, insights that are specific to your needs, right? So you're not going to be getting a bunch of random, personal finance content. You're going to be getting stuff that is recommended specifically for you. We go a step further because we found that one of the issues is that with financial literacies, there's a lot of theory and not enough like support for like action. So what we do is that, we try to give you the information, but we also try to say, hey, you know what, here's a product that you can actually, utilize to take action on what you just learned. And that's exactly what we're doing with Luno, right? So you learned about cryptocurrency, you have a platform, a trusted name, a trusted brand in Luno for you to like take action. You have an Aangoo referral code for you to get an incentive to take action. So yeah, I want to say thank you guys for joining in. Thank you guys for hanging around for over an hour. Thank you for the questions. Chinedu, thank you so much for the great contents that you shared. So yeah, guys, thank you guys so much. Yeah, stick around. Make sure you hang around the Luno and the Aangoo community to get more updates. More webinars, more content, more engagement. And hopefully the goal is for you to increase your standard of living with the information and resources that we're sharing on here. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone. Over and out. Cheers, guys.
Thanks. Cheers. Bye. Thanks, everyone.